When a woman is truly attracted to a man, it does not start with physical desire. For women, attraction is first emotional, then physical. Her mind must feel safe, valued, and understood before her heart and body allow connection. If you carefully observe her behavior, you will clearly notice when both emotional and physical attraction are present. Let's explore 5 powerful signs that reveal her heart and body are drawn toward a man. The first sign is that she initiates emotional connection. A woman who is attracted to a man will not limit conversations to surface level talks. She will ask questions that help her understand his mind, his past, his values, and his dreams. She wants emotional intimacy, so she shares her thoughts and feelings more openly. A woman does not emotionally open up to someone she does not trust or care about. Her willingness to be emotionally vulnerable, to share personal experiences, fears, and hopes means her heart feels connected. Emotional exposure is a woman's version of investment. She does not do it for just anyone. The second sign is that she mirrors his energy and behavior. Women naturally reflect the actions of the man they are attracted to. If he speaks softly, she softens. If he is playful, she becomes playful. If he becomes serious, she matches it. This mirroring is subconscious and rooted in psychology. It is her way of saying, I am aligned with you. Beyond emotional mirroring, you may also notice physical mirroring, such as matching his walking pace, body language, or sitting posture. This is a sign of emotional comfort and physical attraction working together. The third sign is that she puts effort into her appearance around him. Women become naturally conscious of how they look when they are attracted to a man. She may dress better, wear her favorite perfume, style her hair differently, or pay extra attention to small details. It is not about impressing the world. She specifically wants to look beautiful in his eyes. This is a physical attraction indicator expressed in a feminine way. She wants him to notice her beauty without openly seeking validation. The fourth sign is that she values his presence and prioritizes him. A woman attracted emotionally and physically will make space for him in her life. She responds faster, rearranges her schedule to spend time with him, and genuinely enjoys being around him. She does not see time with him as an obligation, but as something that brings her joy, comfort, and peace. She remembers small details about him, what he likes, what he fears, what he desires. A woman only prioritizes a man whom she sees as emotionally important and potentially long-term. The fifth and strongest sign is her feminine energy becomes active around him. She becomes softer, more nurturing, more affectionate, and more expressive. She may show subtle physical gestures, touching his arm, maintaining longer eye contact, sitting closer, or finding reasons to be near him. Feminine energy emerges only when she feels emotionally secure and physically drawn to a man. She wants to care, support, and uplift him. This combination of softness, warmth, and physical closeness is one of the clearest signs that her attraction is both emotional and physical. A woman's emotional attraction always develops before physical attraction, and this truth shapes the entire psychology of how women connect with a man. To understand this deeply, you must realize that a woman's heart, mind, and body are interconnected. She cannot feel physically drawn to someone her emotions do not trust. For women, emotional safety is the foundation upon which physical attraction grows. When a woman feels understood, valued, and respected, her heart naturally begins to open, and only then does her physical attraction start to flourish. A woman's emotional world is rich and layered. She evaluates a man not just by how he looks or what he owns, but by how he makes her feel. If a man offers emotional comfort, emotional maturity, and emotional consistency, she begins to attach. Emotional attraction for a woman begins with subtle feelings, admiration, curiosity, safety, and warmth. She pays attention to how he talks, how he treats others, how he reacts under pressure, and whether he listens or only waits for his turn to speak. These observations help her subconscious decide whether this man is safe to invest feelings into. When a woman starts feeling emotionally attracted, she slowly lets down her guard. She tests the level of emotional intimacy by sharing small personal details to see how he reacts. If he responds with empathy and care, she moves one step deeper. Emotional attraction grows in layers, just like trust. If she senses emotional immaturity, disrespect, or instability, she withdraws immediately. This is why many men fail to connect beyond the physical level. They try to create physical attraction without building emotional comfort first. And for most women, this approach does not work. A woman's emotional attraction also builds through consistency. If a man's words and actions match, if he keeps his promises, And if he shows reliability, her respect for him grows. Respect is a major part of emotional attraction. Without respect, physical attraction cannot survive for long. She needs to feel that he is emotionally stable, protective with his energy, and someone she can rely on. Women look for depth, not just presence. A man who is emotionally available, aware, and expressive creates an emotional bond that makes her feel safe enough to be herself. Once emotional attraction forms, her behavior toward him changes naturally. She becomes more open, more expressive, and more curious about his thoughts and feelings. She wants to know his story, his past, his wounds, his dreams, and his values. She starts prioritizing conversations with him because emotional attraction creates a hunger for emotional closeness. She may ask more meaningful questions, share personal beliefs, or seek his advice. This is her way of building a deeper emotional connection. She does not invest this way in a man she sees only physically. Another important element is emotional safety. For a woman, emotional safety is feeling that she won't be judged, mocked, dismissed, or ignored. When a woman feels emotionally safe, her feminine energy naturally expands. She becomes softer, more nurturing, more expressive, and more affectionate. This emotional state is what eventually leads to physical attraction. If a man fails to provide emotional safety, a woman's attraction shuts down, even if she initially found him physically appealing. Physical attraction for a woman is fragile if the emotional bond is weak. A woman's mind processes attraction differently than a man's. Men can feel physical attraction first and emotional attraction later. Women rarely start from that point. Physical attraction without emotional depth feels empty and unsafe to her. She needs to know the man's character, how he handles challenges, how he communicates, how he treats others, and how he treats himself. Emotional attraction is tied to inner qualities, not outer appearance. She falls for how he makes her feel when she is with him, and how she feels about herself when he is around. When emotional attraction strengthens, her body begins to respond subconsciously. She may find herself smiling more around him, wanting to be near him, or feeling nervous yet excited in his presence. Physical attraction for women is the body responding to emotional connection. It is a natural progression of the heart leading the body. She becomes more comfortable with touch, more open to physical closeness, and more drawn to his presence. But this only happens once emotional trust is built. A key sign of emotional attraction turning physical is increased vulnerability. When a woman begins to share her insecurity, fears, past pains, and hopes, she is opening her heart. She would never expose her emotional truth to a man she is not attracted to. Emotional vulnerability is a gift that women give slowly and only to someone who feels safe. This vulnerability creates emotional intimacy, which deepens the emotional bond further, eventually allowing physical intimacy to develop from a place of trust rather than impulse. For men, the lesson is simple. If you want a woman to be physically attracted to you, focus on emotional attraction first. Be consistent, be present, be respectful, and be emotionally mature. Provide emotional safety, acceptance, support, and real listening. When a woman feels emotionally seen and valued, her attraction grows naturally. Emotional connection is the foundation, and physical attraction is the result. Understanding this psychology helps a man approach relationships with wisdom. Emotional attraction leads to meaningful, lasting, and loyal connections. It creates depth, intimacy, trust, and partnership. If a man learns to connect with a woman's heart, her body will follow willingly, not out of pressure, but out of genuine desire born from emotional love. Consistency of connection matters more to women than intensity, because emotional security for a woman is built through repeated experiences, not occasional grand gestures. Many men believe that doing something big once in a while is enough to win a woman's heart, but female psychology works differently. A woman measures a man's sincerity through the small, consistent patterns of how he shows up emotionally, mentally, and energetically. Intensity may excite her for a moment, but consistency makes her trust him, respect him, and emotionally attach to him in a lasting way. Consistency gives her emotional stability, while intensity without consistency gives her confusion and doubt. Yeah. She values how a man makes her feel daily, not occasionally. When a man is consistent, a woman feels emotionally safe. This emotional stability allows her to open her heart without fear. A consistent man communicates regularly, stays true to his words, and doesn't disappear without explanation. He doesn't create emotional high and low cycles to keep her guessing. Instead, he gives her a sense of reliability. Women connect through emotional rhythm, and when that rhythm is steady, she feels confident expressing her emotions and investing in the relationship. The absence of this emotional consistency causes women to shut down, guard themselves, and detach, even if the attraction was initially strong. Consistency also helps a woman differentiate between temporary interest and genuine intention. A man who is only intense will do impressive things at the start. Buy gifts, show passion, give attention, but slowly lose interest once the excitement fades. He may overwhelm her with affection for a week or two, then suddenly become distant. Such behavior creates emotional instability and anxiety for a woman. She starts questioning his intentions because the inconsistency signals that his attraction might not be real or long-term. In contrast, when a man shows steady care, patience, and emotional presence, she sees him as someone who wants to build something meaningful. Women are emotionally intuitive, and they examine patterns more than words. A man who says he cares but does not show up consistently loses her trust quickly. Consistency is the proof of emotional honesty. It shows authenticity, discipline, and sincerity. A woman watches how a man behaves when he is busy, stressed, or facing challenges, because consistency during difficulty shows emotional strength. Anyone can be loving when things are easy. Consistency is seen when a man still chooses respect, kindness, and communication when life tests him. That is when she truly evaluates his character. Consistency also strengthens emotional intimacy. For a woman to connect deeply, she needs to feel seen and heard repeatedly. Regular conversations, thoughtful check-ins, and gentle emotional support teach her heart that this connection is safe. Small gestures such as remembering what she said, checking on how she feels, or noticing changes in her mood go a long way in building emotional depth. These consistent actions create a bond that becomes hard to break. It is through repetition that a woman builds emotional memories that shape her feelings for a man. A consistent man becomes a source of emotional grounding for a woman. She feels she can count on him. This reliability activates her feminine energy to trust and nurture the relationship. She relaxes emotionally because she doesn't fear sudden abandonment or emotional withdrawal. When she feels emotionally held, she begins to open her vulnerable side. She becomes more affectionate, expressive, and supportive in return. Consistency makes her invest emotionally because it signals safety and long-term potential. It is not the intensity of his feelings that matters, but the stability of his actions. Men often underestimate how much small, regular actions matter. A short daily message can mean more to a woman than an expensive gift once a month. A consistent 10-minute conversation every evening can emotionally bond her more than a dramatic romantic gesture on a holiday. Women notice who remembers their words, who listens without distractions, and who puts effort even in ordinary moments. Consistency shows care, respect, and emotional maturity. Intensity is often ego-driven. Consistency is heart-driven. Inconsistency, on the other hand, creates emotional insecurity. When a man shifts between hot and cold behavior, he triggers self-doubt in a woman. She starts questioning her worth, thinking she did something wrong, or believing she must earn his attention. This damages her emotional well-being and disconnects her from her feminine energy. A man who is inconsistent becomes emotionally unsafe. Even if she was once deeply attracted, her heart slowly detaches to protect itself. Inconsistency kills attraction faster than flaws, because a woman cannot build emotional clarity around unpredictable behavior. Consistency is not about perfection. It is about showing up even when life is not ideal. A consistent man communicates honestly. If he is busy, instead of disappearing, he apologizes when he is wrong instead of making excuses. He keeps routines, maintains respect, and values emotional continuity. Women do not expect a man to always be strong. They expect him to remain emotionally present. That presence is what builds long-term attraction. Consistency is not boring. It is comforting, safe, and deeply attractive to the feminine heart. When a man is consistent, his value increases over time, his love becomes trustworthy, his presence becomes comforting, his words hold weight. She experiences emotional peace instead of emotional roller coasters. And women fall in love where they feel peace, not chaos. Intensity may spark desire, but consistency sustains emotional connection, physical attraction, and long-term loyalty. A woman chooses long-term love based on emotional consistency, not emotional fireworks. If a man understands this, he not only wins her attraction, but he wins her heart in a deep, meaningful, and lasting way. A woman mirrors the man she is attracted to, both emotionally and physically, because mirroring is an unconscious psychological process rooted in connection, trust, and empathy. When a woman is emotionally or physically drawn to a man, her body and mind begin to reflect his behavior, tone, energy, and emotions without her even realizing it. This is not an act of imitation. It is a natural human response to emotional resonance. When she feels aligned with him, her subconscious mind signals safety and acceptance, allowing her to blend her rhythm with his. Mirroring becomes her way of saying, I understand you, I feel you, and I connect with you. In female psychology, mirroring is one of the earliest signs of attraction. It shows that her guard is down and she is emotionally engaged. If he leans in, she leans into. If he smiles, she smiles. If his voice softens, her tone follows. These subtle reflections reveal deep comfort and emotional synchronization. When a woman mirrors a man's energy, it means she feels emotionally close and her body is expressing that closeness. It is her nonverbal way of bonding and aligning. She doesn't have to force it. Her mind and body naturally adjust to his frequency when attraction and trust are present. Emotional mirroring is often more powerful than words. For example, if a man speaks calmly and attentively, she will begin to respond with calmness and attention too. If he listens deeply, she starts opening up more. But if he becomes distant, defensive, or cold, she subconsciously mirrors that too, pulling back emotionally and physically. This is why men who remain calm, centered, and emotionally stable often find that women respond positively to their energy. A woman's emotional system seeks emotional safety, and she mirrors the energy that provides it. She is constantly responding to the tone he sets, not just the words he speaks. Physical mirroring is another strong indicator of attraction. When a woman likes a man, her body language becomes synchronized with his. She may mimic his posture, gestures, or even breathing rhythm. When he leans forward, she might lean forward too. When he crosses his legs, she may unconsciously do the same. This alignment is a physical sign of emotional connection. Her body is signaling that she is tuned into him and feels safe enough to move in harmony. These small, often unnoticed gestures are powerful signs of rapport and attraction. Beyond body language, women also mirror emotional patterns and communication styles. A woman attracted to a man begins to use similar words, phrases, or tones. If he uses humor, she becomes playful. If he is thoughtful and reflective, she starts speaking more meaningfully. Mirroring allows her to feel emotionally close and helps build mutual understanding. It creates a shared emotional space where both feel seen and understood. In this space, attraction deepens naturally because the emotional rhythm between them feels effortless and familiar. Mirroring also has a deeper emotional meaning for women. When a woman mirrors a man, it is her way of expressing emotional alignment and approval. She is subconsciously communicating, "I feel safe with you. I trust your energy." Emotional safety is vital for attraction in women. Without it, she will resist mirroring, keeping her tone and posture guarded. But once safety is established, her mirroring becomes stronger. She feels free to match his playfulness, vulnerability, or seriousness. This shared rhythm makes her feel emotionally bonded and physically connected. In relationships, mirroring becomes the foundation of emotional harmony. When both partners reflect each other's calmness, empathy, and affection, emotional closeness grows. But when a man becomes emotionally inconsistent or reactive, the woman's mirroring will shift accordingly. She might withdraw, become quiet, or mirror his frustration. This dynamic shows how deeply connected emotional states are between partners. The energy one person gives off becomes the emotional atmosphere for both. A woman's mirroring behavior is therefore a reflection of not only her attraction, but also the emotional environment created by the man. Mirroring also explains why emotionally mature men attract women effortlessly. When a man is centered, kind, and confident, he emits energy that feels safe and grounded. A woman who interacts with him begins to mirror that calmness. She feels emotionally stable in his presence because his energy regulates hers. This is the unseen dance of emotional chemistry, one that doesn't rely on words but on energy exchange. A woman can feel deeply connected to a man simply because his emotional rhythm feels peaceful and trustworthy. In moments of attraction, mirroring also intensifies physical signals. A woman may unconsciously mirror his smile, maintain longer eye contact, or subtly copy his gestures. Her body starts leaning toward him, her voice becomes softer, and her laughter more natural. These physical cues reveal that her attraction is no longer just emotional, but also physical. Her body is signaling acceptance and connection. The synchronization of movements, tone, and expression strengthens the bond and builds the invisible chemistry between them. However, mirroring is not manipulation. It must come from authenticity. If a man tries to fake his emotional energy or use forced calmness, a woman's intuition will sense the inconsistency. Real mirroring happens only when both energies align naturally through genuine attraction and mutual understanding. The more emotionally authentic a man is, the easier it becomes for a woman to mirror him because she feels the truth in his presence. The power of mirroring lies in emotional leadership. When a man maintains emotional balance, presence, and integrity, he becomes a calm anchor in the interaction. The woman's subconscious mind picks up that calmness and reflects it back. This emotional mirroring creates harmony, safety, and connection. She begins to associate peace and happiness with him, which strengthens both emotional and physical attraction. So when a woman mirrors a man, it is not coincidence, it is communication. Her emotions are saying what her words might not. She is signaling comfort, alignment, and mutual desire. Her mind and body are responding to his emotional energy, reflecting connection and building unspoken intimacy. This is why understanding mirroring is key for emotional intelligence in relationships. Attraction is not created through force, it is nurtured through resonance. When a man carries emotional steadiness, self-awareness, and authenticity, he invites a woman to mirror his energy. And through that